Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. New data download is in, and with it comes the Legends Festival countdown. I'm gonna have a prediction video coming in the coming days, I guess maybe this weekend, just talking about what I think we could see for this Legends Festival. I think we should see some pretty heavy hitter characters if we go anything by these teasers, but that's for a separate discussion. We'll save it for that video there. Next, the Zenkai Awakening for this purple Vegito blue. I'm just going to come out and say it. A lot of people think that this could be a clue for Legends Festival. I can't help but feel like this guy's Zenkai Awakening was just a scheduling conflict. I think it's a little too perfect that he is the exact same type as the Ultra, and the Ultra fits pretty well with a Fusion Warrior team, and a lot of their Ultra abilities are tied to Fusion Warriors. So if you wanted to set up a team where Ultra Zamasu was not going to be in the leader slot, and you still wanted to give him a Zenkai buffer, you could still throw in this guy and then have some other Fusion Warrior related characters, so it all just stitches together. I think he's more so a scheduling conflict, less so a clue for the Legends Fest. I think the 40th DB anniversary for the manga, I think that kind of threw a wrench in their scheduling, and they just had to push this guy a little bit down the line. You know, another thing that sort of supports that fact is the unique equip for the Kid Goku coming out now at the same time. I know the future boost campaign is already done, just feels like scheduling got a little bit off. That's what I think. They talked about this guy having some quirks tied to Overdrive. Pretty cool thing, the fact that they're willing to invest in the Overdrive mechanics, start adding more traits specifically to it. For that reason, though, I can't help but be cautious for the Zenkai Awakening. Number one, he's a 1% character. It's not very often that a 1% Zenkai is any good. And number two, anytime they tie it to a specific new mechanic, like Overdrive in this case, they hold back on it just so they don't overdo it. So I'm expecting this guy to just be decent in Overdrive mode, kind of doo-doo outside of it. He's got some flaws in his kit. We'll see if they rectify any of those. Next, Dramatic Battle, Dragon Ball 40th Anniversary Campaign. They've expanded on these characters having manga panels to replace their art. Most of them, let's be real here, for us, not the biggest highlight. However, one of them that did get one is the boy. Yeah, they got a new manga art for the Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Look at how cool this is. So that's going to be the first one that I'm going to be gunning for. There is one for the Supreme Kai as well, but apparently you can't get it yet. Maybe it's a clue for something down the line. But either way, I love it. Look at how cool this guy looks. And you guys already saw, we're going to be getting this free-to-play Goten. If I had a coin for every time we got a free-to-play Goten, I'd have, what, 2 coins now? Which isn't a lot, but it is odd that we got 2. The previous one was that purple Goten that I wasn't particularly fond of. Maybe this Goten is going to be a little bit better than that guy was. Maybe this guy is a clue for what Festival could be, because the free-to-play character that releases this close to Festival sometimes gives a clue, which is something I bring up in the Legends Fest prediction video that you'll see in the coming days. Next, Tag Battle, Dragon Ball 40th Anniversary stuff. They just expanded on this even further. Now we're fighting against Fat Boo. And then, like I said, Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku has a new manga art. Let's jump in game to see the unique equip as well as the Zenkai stats. All right, here we are. Good old Vegito. Let us see what this guy has in his Zenkai Awakening. Ignore the team. I'm not really sure what team I'm going to be throwing this guy on yet. The weird thing about his Zenkai is Future is undoubtedly a strike-oriented team, and yet they decided to give a Zenkai to a blast-oriented Fusion Warrior. There was sort of a wrench in the team formulation. Either way, let's see. Let's just go ahead and pop him with the Zenkai stats. I'm going to have his base kit to my left, just so we can make very fast comparisons. Let's go right away. Number 1, stats, looking pretty good. Not too bad at all. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Strike and Blast, let's see. Strike is the same, that's cool. Blast is, it lowers his special move cost, that is the same. Blue card. Massive impact damage on activation, damage guard penetration. That went up from minus 30% to 40. And then on hit, he gets 50 ki, which is new. Cannot be canceled out by most special moves. Yes, the infamous trait. This guy's green card I know was an issue. I think this thing just absolutely stunk. So I wonder if they powered it up in any way. Green card, on activation, he gets 50 ki, level 1 card draw speed, and lock-in. That's exactly the same as before. On hit, he'll draw a blue card, cancel attribute downgrades, destroy all enemies' green cards, and enemy loses a Dragon Ball, which you can chain with the blue. He's got a couple new traits in there. Chainable with the blue is new, and the fact that he is going to draw blue cards off the green. That's a nice power-up. Dragon Ball Destruction is powerful, and you might also notice it is not limited. This guy can keep destroying Dragon Balls every time he hits you with the green card. That's a very strong effect. Ultimate damage, God Final Kamehameha. Massive impact damage, which is the same. On activation, he will get 50 ki, vanish, level 1 card draw speed for 15 counts, damage guard penetration. That is all the same. Alright, so not too many changes. The green card buff is a big one, because this is one of those moves that you could deliberately miss and then throw in a rush or an overdrive now. A good example of this is Ultra Kid Buu. If you use the blue card for a drop combo, on activation, it would lock in the opponent, and what you could do is just throw the Rising Rush. This green card looks like it will work the same way, and because this character is tied towards the overdrive, it could be that they expect you to do that. They want you to deliberately miss this green card and then throw the overdrive to hit the opponent. Maybe that's the play that they want here. Main ability, let's see. Draw the ultimate next, get 25% HP, ki plus 50, 50% ult damage, cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions. Everything is the same except for the last bullet point. The cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions. His Zenkai ability is for Purple and Fusion Warrior. Huh. Purple and Fusion Warrior. Wow, I actually would have thought this would be for God Key or Future. Sorry, more so Future than Fusion Warrior, but alright. That's fine. Starter ability. Yeah, this guy's kind of old. This guy came out, what, 3rd anniversary? So he's definitely going to need a big bump. 200% damage. Blast damage against enemy armor. Damage guard is, oh no, 130%. Key recovery plus 120%. That is an absurd amount of key recovery. What is that all about? What? What are we doing here, Legends? Alright. On return to standby for Fusion Warrior, God Key, or future allies. Heal plus 10%. Damage plus 20% for 20 timer counts. And key recovery plus 20%. This is all the same, except for the healing. The 3 times, which is nice. A nice little novelty here. The power to rival a deity. On entry, draw a card if he has 3 or fewer. Get 30 ki. Next blast card does 70% additional damage. Those are all the same except for the ki. He didn't earn 30 ki before. Every time he uses a strike or blast, he'll get 5 ki. His next blue card damage plus 20% up to 60. Nullify cover change for 5 counts. Yes, standard stuff. After 20 timer counts have elapsed from the battle start, he gets 40% damage and 35% damage guard. Okay, and that's similar to his kit before. He had the exact same thing, except now his damage guard is 35% versus the 25 before. So Vegito is sitting at what, 165%? Okay. These are the new passives. When on standby and overdrive mode is activated, subcount -5. While he's in overdrive mode, he gets 60% damage, level 1 card draw speed, protect hand, and nullify attribute downgrades under normal conditions. I mean, nullify attribute downgrades under normal conditions. The biggest things would be art cost increase, and you don't really care for those anyways. When you have overdrive mode, you have infinite key. Protect hand is nice though. Level 1 card draw speed. Yeah, oh no, his card draw is tied to being in overdrive mode. Ooh, that alone might actually... wait, what does that say? When he activates Overdrive, he heals 15%, gets 70 damage, and lock. Oh. Whoa. That might change things. Not saying that this makes Vegito all of a sudden a massive player, but that alone could make him a decent character. Overdrive activation has lock-in. Huh. 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 Damn. Overdrive mode gives him another 130% damage inflict. He might not be bad as an overdrive sniper. He might not be bad for that specifically. But he's kind of looking useless outside of overdrive mode, which is what I feared. Let's just read the remainder of his kit. On strike or blast hit, draw a card if he has 3 or fewer and get 20% damage. So he stacks damage. When he's hit by an enemy's card, he destroys an enemy card, reduces their key by 30, and he will take away 50% enemy key recovery. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think he's going to be rather one-dimensional. Vegito's call to fame is going to be overdrive mode, where the entire objective is to try to rush that as fast as possible, just so that Vegito can get his hands on the sniping potential. If he's outside of that, he's probably not going to look like anything impressive. He's not going to look like he can do anything crazy. He does have methods of extending his combo, like he will force draw one card when he shows up, and when he uses a card, he'll force draw one other card, like a baby Kaioken Goku. But card draw speed being tied to that, paired alongside it being tied to the green card or the ultimate, is kind of finicky. So many characters nowadays lower card draw speed that it's going to hurt this guy pretty bad. But his call to fame is probably going to be a deliberate green card miss to overdrive snipe. That is going to be his call to fame. I think that's what they want you to do. Because in his overdrive mode, his multipliers become somewhat impressive, but it's really that sniping potential. If they gave Vegito type neutral with the overdrive activation, then I would say, okay, I see what they're going for, and this guy might actually be scary. Because overdrive is not being treated like a traditional arts card. There would be no removal of his attribute upgrades. They wouldn't be able to strip away any of his buff effects. So he'd be able to do a type neutral lock-in overdrive. That's rather strong, especially against characters like Ultra CMZ, who have that unique gauge that counters ultimates and rising rushes. Your next best thing is the overdrive. So he's going to be an overdrive merchant is what it looks like, but they did set it up so you could make some interesting plays with it. Deliberately miss the green, have him in overdrive mode, launch the overdrive with them locked in. You should do some decent damage. That's what they're gunning for. So, you know, I think that's where his forte is going to be. Otherwise, he's kind of whatever. The next thing, LF Kid Goku, unique equip. There's a lot riding on this. So number one, this guy needs subcount manipulation on major moves. The DB Saga team right now doesn't have any. The two 40th anniversary DB characters that we got, none of them have any sort of major subcount manipulation outside of the, I think it was just a natural -1 that both have. They need something for this guy to make him come back on the field for those. And number two, he needs to have increased unique gauge charge rate. I think that guy has a very weak unique gauge, and it takes way too long to fill. So let's see what they do for him. 20% max HP, 50% both defenses, 30% damage guard. If he's fighting with 2 more DB Saga allies, he gets another 20% damage guard. 30% damage inflicted, 50% both damages. If he's fighting with 2 DB Saga battle members, he gets another 20% to pure strike and blast attack. On enemy, rising rush activation, own subcount -8. Okay, there's that. On Striker Blast Arts use, unique gauge plus 5%. Okay. That's literally what we just said. And when indestructible ends, ally health plus 20%. I mean, we'll take it. But for this Goku, let's see. Faster unique gauge, yes. Subcam manipulation, yes. I think I would have liked if they threw in ultimates in there as well, not just rising rushes. I really do think it should have been on all big moves, so that might hurt him. But they addressed some of what he needed. Can I jump to this character from here? Could have swore you could have. Hold on. I just want to check something. What are his damage guard numbers at then? So he sits at 150 there, 160. I think he's getting 20% from the 2 other DB Saga characters, and that equip was giving him another 20%, I think? I just want to double check. So he sits at 200%? Okay, 200% damage guard. He's probably going to be in the featured boost. The additional max HP and stats overall. He's a modern character. This guy's only 5 months old. So this alone is enough for him to be a pretty formidable character. I think he'll do great. On a DB Saga team specifically, I think he'll do great. So that's good. Is this enough to deal with Fusion Zamasu though? He doesn't really have a lot of type neutral, and if I look at the DB Saga team, they don't really have a dominant blue outside of like Jackie Chun or Mercenary Tao. So he's probably still gonna struggle with that. But yeah, they address some of his faults. It's a good unique equip. Speaking of equips, I see you. What is this? Strike defense, strike attack, blast attack, 10% to own blast defense per Sun Family or Hybrid Saiyan battle member? The hell? It's kind of a weird equip. Is there anything else? What is this? Sun Family DB. Special move. Blast attack. If there's a character Gohan battle member, own blast attack 15%. If there's a Goku battle member, own strike attack 15%. Look at that. They know the team they're gonna make. It's literally unique equips for the 40th NETB characters. That's what this is. They know the team are gonna make. The thing is DB Saga has so many great equips that I don't know what you're gonna go for now. It's all slotted up. There's already best in slot equips. So that's whatever, I guess. I think this is new. Strike defense, max HP, blast defense, and pure strike and blast defense for if this character is tagged DB. Sun Family. Alright, I mean, it's okay. Okay defensive equip. I think that's everything. Holy crap, I almost forgot about this Goten. Alright, let's just quickly double check what he's got here. Purple again. The other free-to-play Goten was purple as well, but he's a strike-oriented character this time. 3 little tags. Alright, stats-wise, it's okay. Cover null, healer, buffer, alright. Standard strike and blast, blue card. On activation, ally subcount -2. If the blue card is enhanced, he gets 30% blue card damage. All enemies subcount +3. On hit, ally special move. Damage plus 20%. Green card, on activation, get 50 key and 30% damage, which is uncancelable. On hit, so it's a melee-based green. Cancel attribute downgrades that are normal conditions. Enemy damage received plus 20%. If the green card is enhanced, he'll draw blue. He'll draw a card if his hand is 3 or fewer, and his next blue card gets 30% additional damage and is chainable with all the cards. Alright, it's not bad. Main ability, draw blue, heal 20%, 50 key, 30% damage, cover null for, does it say 3 counts? Cover null for 3 counts off the main? What? Cancel attribute downgrades that are normal conditions. Okay. Z ability is for Sun Family, event exclusive or hybrid Saiyan, strike attack and strike defense. Z ability, oh my god, look at how short this is. Starter ability, 230% damage. 30% strike damage, 155% damage guard, 50% key recovery, and level 1 card draw speed. On entry, he'll draw a card if his hand is 3 or fewer, get 50 key. And based on the number of strike or blast arts uses, If you use the first one and onwards, he heals 3%, strike damage plus 20%, nullify cover change. On the third card, he will draw a green, 30% damage, and he'll enhance his special move / special arts. When he's hit... Actually, hold on. That's actually kind of interesting. In theory, Goten could continuously draw green cards. On his third strike or blast arts use, he will draw a green, which will be enhanced. The green card doesn't give him cover null, but it is something he can chain into. If that green card gave cover null, this wouldn't have been too bad. Okay. He could be a green card funneling character, but okay. Alright. It's all about the blue card, really. If it's an enhanced green, which it will be on the third card because they become enhanced and he draws it, the first time he'll get a blue card that has the higher stack damage and the buff that he has right there. It's not bad. When he's hit by an enemy's arts, ally subcount -2, enemy key -30. When he's defeated, ally health plus 20%, ally sun family or hybrid Saiyan plus 30% damage, cancel attribute upgrades and buff effects. I mean, what did we expect, right? It's a free-to-play character. There's quite honestly nothing crazy about this character. The only interesting thing is that on his third strike or blast arts use, he draws the green. It's just the fact that he could be a factory for spawning green cards. That is it. That is the only thing about this character that speaks volumes. Everything else is just nothing burger. Alright, yeah, let me know in the comment section below. I think it's, this is a pretty packed reset. Zenkai, LF Unique, a couple new equips and stuff like that. 40th anti-DB stuff going on. The Zenkai Awakening for the Vegito is kind of, you know, it's kind of whatever. It feels like his entire thing is just tied to the Overdrive. The only noteworthy thing out of that is just that they're paying attention to it and that they want to expand on that, which is fine. The unique equip for this kid Goku is more than enough. I think that's exactly what this guy would need, so he's going to look a lot better. The problem is there's not enough strong blue characters right now to deal fusions of Masu. A lot of people are considering him the best character in the game. I should tell you how dangerous that guy's looking right now. But overall, all right. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this stuff. I'm going to go do the big sleep, and I'll see you guys in the morning for the showcases. But until then, you guys have a good night. Peace.